Now, Sports Talk with Broads. Here's Hunter Brody.
This is never fun. Overreaction Mondays are never fun when you lose, right? It's great when you win. We're going to the Super Bowl. When they lose, it blows. The coffee doesn't taste the same. And you know me, when my coffee doesn't taste right, I'm pissed off. But by the way, we are broadcasting live. We are bringing this to you live from the Manscaped Man Cave. Get 20% off and free shipping with the code BROD at manscaped.com. Today, what are we going to do? It's simple. We are going to react to your phone calls. The 24/7 Anytime Hotline was on fire last night. It was nonstop, calls coming through, voicemails being left, and I can't wait to dive into them. I'm sure they're going to be ripping Carson Wentz and Doug Peterson and Jim Schwartz. And you know what? It's time to react to that because what they put on that football field yesterday was a flat-out disgrace. Carson Wentz was absolutely pathetic. The mechanics are off. The timing is off. He's overthinking things. He's trying too hard, and it's very frustrating, okay? It really is frustrating to see Carson Wentz in this mental state. This is the worst 2 games I've seen him put together back-to-back. I mean, it really is embarrassing. Like, Carson Wentz, you have to be better. You need to be better on first down when the team is actually having a little bit of momentum. You can't throw a ball into J.J. Arcega-Whiteside when there's 2 guys right on him. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then I have to hear that Ronnie McLeod was talking about how, oh yeah, we knew this stuff was coming. Excuse me? You knew this stuff was coming? See, I'm so disgusted with Jim Schwartz, just like anybody else, because I don't think that he did a great job. But at the same time, when you're hearing Ronnie McLeod, your veteran safety, go, yeah, we knew what they were going to do. We worked on this in practice. We knew this. Well, you knew it. So then the execution was piss poor by all of the players. Not that that's breaking news. We knew that anyway. But they were all taught and prepared to go out there and execute the game plan, and they didn't. The players just flat out didn't. But I'll add this in there as well. I went hard and heavy at Doug Peterson for that offensive game plan. I didn't love it. I knew what he was doing. He tried to get the ball out of Carson's hands quickly so you can stop Aaron Donald from disrupting the game in terms of getting to Carson Wentz and being this aggressive, obnoxious guy who's breaking through the offensive line. But do you see the difference in confusion when it comes to what Sean McVay was dialing up? I just told you that the entire defense knew what was coming, yet when the misdirection stuff was all happening, they were confused and the Rams executed, and it was great. The fact that there's so much happening pre-snap, the misdirections, the way it's viewed, the bootlegs, the play action, all of it. You can confuse the defense with that. Doug Peterson's little dinking and throwing little passes, that's not confusing anybody. You don't even put the Rams defense in the state of mind to be confused. You don't even give them any questions. They know what's coming. You're going to go underneath every damn time. And that's where I have the issue. But we're going to hit these phone calls today. Let's react. Can't believe it. 2nd week in a row here on a Monday. We're all fired up and disgusted with what we saw. Ridiculous. It really is. It's ridiculous.
Hey, Broads. First-time caller. Been a fan of the show for a long time. Love what you do for all the Philly sports. But I got to say, I am just absolutely disgusted with this Eagles team right now. And I think the number one man to blame is Carson Wentz. Not absolving Doug Peterson of any criticism right now. His 4th down play call was abysmal. But I can't watch Wentz anymore. It's pathetic. This guy can't hit open throws that any quote-unquote elite quarterback would make, like a Russell Wilson or an Aaron Rodgers, and he's just not that. And he makes stupid decisions. He tries to play hero ball, and he's just overall not an effective quarterback, and it really pains me to watch him lead this Eagles team. And I know you're a big supporter of Wentz, but I just want to hear your thoughts on this because I would love to see what Hurts can do. It's looking more and more like a lost season, and we might as well put the new kid out there and see if he can make any plays.
Now, see, I disagree. I don't know an organization that succeeds. Although I question this organization all around right now. They seem to be very dysfunctional. But if you're just 2 games here, you're going to move on from a quarterback. And what happens when Hurts ends up playing bad? Do you go back to Carson Wentz? Do you use Nate Sudfeld? No. I think Carson Wentz has done enough in this league to earn the respect to work himself out of this. 2 games is not a good enough amount of time for me to go, okay, you know what? He had a chance. He deserves the chance to work himself out of this. He was bad, all right? I'm not saying he was good. It wasn't his fault. It was his fault, and he was awful in the 2 football games that were played so far this season. But I can't get behind just throwing him out because he had 2 bad games. He deserves the respect to work his way out of it. Now, if he doesn't, okay, but when you look at his contract, he has an out after 2022? So that's reality here in Philadelphia. I'm not giving up on him already because of some bad games. Now, that doesn't mean I can't start to question him more than I ever did, and it can't mean that I'm not going to be, I'm going to be super hard on him. I'm glued to him. I'm super focused on him with this intense magnifying glass now, obviously, but it's not time to just say, oh, let's throw this quarterback in, that quarterback in. You don't succeed as a franchise, as an organization, when you just change up your quarterback. That's the Denver Broncos. You want to be the Denver Broncos, throwing in all these young pieces left and right? And I'm not saying Carson Wentz is working right now because he isn't. But that doesn't mean the alternative automatically means, well, then this team is just going to be flowing on all cylinders because you just want to throw in a rookie who had a good college career. Carson Wentz has to be better. I'm giving him time to work out of this funk. It would be different if we've never seen him play well before. We've seen him play well. Now, I want to touch on your point about Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. Carson Wentz is not Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers. And I've been through this before. If you are just going to wait until you find yourself that quarterback, good luck. You will be rebuilding every year. You will take years and years and years until you find that guy. They don't grow on trees. These guys do not come around very often. They're special talents. They are elite. There is a reason why you put them under the category of elite. It's not easy to find those guys. It's rare to be elite. So yeah, you know what? Carson Wentz is not elite. And I've been down that road before. Right now, he's one of the worst in the league in the first 2 games, but I don't think that that's who he is long term. He's not Aaron Rodgers. He's not Russell Wilson. That doesn't mean you can't win football games. Nick Foles won a Super Bowl, right? Nick Foles won a Super Bowl. The guy can't play in Jacksonville over Gardner Minshew, and the guy can't play over Mitch Trubisky. The guy stinks, and he won a Super Bowl. I think there's your point right there. All right?
Man, bros, man, this is crazy. I don't understand how we're building this team. A second-round draft pick on a quarterback? We clearly need help at the linebacker position. It's bad. Jim Schwartz was clueless out there. I've seen this stat where I think out of the 2 games, the offense is scoring at will in the red zone. I think that the Redskins only missed 1. I think the Rams missed 1 as well in the red zone. That's insane. We're also getting no pressure, and what's coming with no pressure, they're throwing the ball at will. Cornerbacks, linebackers, where are you guys?
You're right. You're right. Where are they? Great question. When it comes to that run game, your defensive ends, they're getting caught on the misdirection. It was truly embarrassing. And then when they hit that second level, bang, the linebackers just got abused. It was really pathetic. Now, going to the Jalen Hurts pick in the second round, at this point, I'm convinced that the organization, we were talking about, a gadget piece. No, I think that they don't trust Carson Wentz at all. But then I can question this entire mentality of the front office after you give Carson Wentz such big money. money, you don't question him anymore. Then the way the front office went about this all was totally horrible, and shame on them. And we can rip into the front office all you want, because as you can see, as you can tell, this doesn't make any sense. You talk about the linebacking core. Very fair point. You draft Jalen Hurts in the second round, yet in the third round you draft a prospect linebacker who's not even close to sniffing the NFL as a starter role. So please explain to me how this works. You have a second-round pick that you're going to use in the goal line areas in the red zone, and you use him for a couple snaps as a gadget piece at the moment. And then you have a third-rounder that at a position that you need, and he's not even close to being ready to play in the league. It's just absolutely ridiculous. The defensive front, the one that gets paid all the cash, where you build your defense, they got zero pressure. And I know that people want to claim that Jim Schwartz needs to blitz more. Who are you blitzing? You don't have this elite package of blitzers, Nate Gary. No, there's a skill to blitzing. Now, I agree that he needs to be more aggressive in certain areas, and you got to find a way to keep Jared Goff in the pocket. You saw the difference when Goff was in the pocket compared to being outside the pocket. So you got to find a way to force him to stay there, contain him. And they did a horrendous job at doing so. They did a horrendous job at everything.
What's going on, bros? My name is Dom Sharp, depressed Eagles fan since 2007, and all I want to say is this may be one of the most gut-wrenching losses in a very long time, only because we saw sparkles of this team starting to come back and starting to be the team that we want them to be, only for the flower tooth.
I don't know if I'm going to go the most gut-wrenching loss. There's been way worse losses out there for sure. I mean, I could argue maybe last week was worse because of how it actually went down. This was disappointing because they came out flat. They were down, 21-3 at one point. It was a joke early on. And sure, they showed some flashes of who they can be, although I just wasn't satisfied with that offense as a whole. I got questioned a bit, and I was not getting ridiculed, but I was going back and forth with a couple of my buddies because I was blaming Doug Peterson a lot. Doug Peterson in that offense made no sense to me in terms of, flow. It didn't have that vibe to it. You look at those two offenses, and to me, you saw an extreme difference. Now, to take a step back, I understood what the Eagles were going for, but I don't think they nailed it good enough. They wanted to make sure Aaron Donald did not get to the quarterback. Fine. But you're not going to succeed with just dunking it over the top. Underneath, but over the offensive line. But the throws were underneath. The Rams took away over the top. But I bring up this question. If the Rams went in their game plan going, all right, if we stop the Eagles from hitting long passes and we keep everything underneath, we will win. And if Doug Peterson goes, if they're going to give us everything underneath, we will win. Well, one of you is wrong. You're allowing the Rams to then execute their game plan easily, perfectly. Let them throw underneath. And guess what? It looked like they were right. Regardless of if Carson Wentz missed a throw here or there, or he could have had Dallas Goedert in the end zone, or whatever the case may be, I don't believe that offensive game plan from the jump was what would have won you that football game. Even if Carson Wentz hit a certain pass here or there, there's not enough creativity at all. It's too vanilla. It's too blah for me. You look at what is going on with that Rams offense. You look at the 49ers last year. That's what I was sold that we were going to start doing with all this speed, with all these young guys coming in. Rager, Hightower, you have Miles Sanders, Deshaun Jackson. You can utilize Ertz and Goddard as well in these packages. I haven't seen anything creative except for one play early on to Rager, and you didn't see anything else again. That's where I'm bothered.
Hey, bro. First-time caller here. I've been watching your show for a while. Dude, this game was complete garbage. I'm a longtime Eagles fan, bro. This is just this has been absolute, disgrace. The play calling was absolute garbage. They came out flat from the beginning. The second Miles Sanders fumbled that ball, I was like, oh, here we go. It was just an absolutely abysmal performance. Carson Wentz, I don't know where the hell he's throwing that ball. At least it was the only thing that I can say came out of this game is that he didn't get sacked. That was it. The only thing that came out of this game for the Eagles is that Carson Wentz didn't get sacked. That's it. That's what's so sad and pathetic about this freaking team, man.
You're right. He didn't get sacked. And when you're going up against Aaron Donald, I think that's something that is on your mind. Did he get... No, there was that... It was a great hit, but Carson Wentz got the ball out of his hands. Doug Peterson went in there and said, I want to make sure Aaron Donald doesn't get to my quarterback. He did that. But I think there's another side to that equation as well. Okay, he's not getting to your quarterback, but what else are you doing that's successful when you're getting rid of the ball? And I don't think going underneath over and 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 over again is enough to finish the job. And clearly I was right. Now, Carson Wentz missed throws. Carson Wentz made mistakes. I understand that. But it's regardless of the execution, and it's just the way the entire offense looks. Now, Doug did run the ball more. That's going to excite people. Miles Sanders showed something. Now, you talked about not getting sacked. I think what you should be happy about, too, is Miles Sanders does look to be a stud. But you can be pissed off at so many things. Roby Coleman, awful. Jalen Mills, bad. Nate Gary, obviously, just an embarrassment.
Rhodes, my guy. Dude, the birds do not look good, man. I'm a Wentz fan. I really thought I'm just gonna say I still am, but those little 2-yard, 3-yard out routes and like little passes to the running backs that he just misses, that could be easy 5 or 6 yards to make our second and third downs a lot more doable. It's not happening. He hits them. He doesn't hit them, and then we're just smoked after that. We're punting. We're making turnovers. We're trying to force things. Miles Sanders, he was our best player. Other than that, we blow. This is nothing better than a 9-7 season. Only thing we got going for us is that the NFC East is still gonna stink.
Yeah, Dallas have a monster comeback. That was unbelievable. What the Atlanta Falcons did with the onside kick, they are an absolute riot when it comes to blowing games. They are known to do it and do it in this epic fashion. It is wild. Now, you talked about the 2-3 yard passes, right, that Carson Wentz misses, and I'm not disagreeing that Carson Wentz is missing those passes, but I can argue there's defenders right there, right, like these 2-yard out routes. And that's my point where, at the end of the day, where is that getting you as an offense? That's not creative enough for me. I expect more creativity than those plays. Now, I'm not saying you can't ever use them. I see value in them. But that seemed to be what they were trying to do, just these little out routes. That's what the Rams wanted you to do. I could bring it up with Bryce Harper, right? We talk about the shift. Why is Bryce Harper constantly trying to bunt it down third base? They want you to do that. Here, take the single. We want you to do that. Well, you're giving them what you want. Be creative. Scheme open your guys more. Now, Carson has to execute. Carson needs to be better. It goes both. It goes on both. I put the blame on everyone. Like, Carson Wentz was totally disrespectful to us when it came to how he played that football game. Doug Peterson got outcoached. Jim Schwartz, whether he put together a game plan and the team didn't execute it or not, he wasn't good enough. He should have adjusted if he realized things weren't going as smoothly as possible. He could have brought more pressure somehow, some way. If he realized that his defensive front wasn't getting to Jared Goff, he could have found a way to get Jared Goff to stay more in the pocket. Because he was struggling when he did that. When the Eagles went on that little buzz ride, that's because Jared Goff was struggling to get out of the pocket. And you can see the difference, and you can see how uncomfortable he was when that was the case. Man. By the way, this episode of Sports Talk with Broads is sponsored by Orbit Energy and Power. With over 20 years of experience in the solar industry, they are home to your solar experts in residential and commercial projects. Their solar program helps eliminate your electric bill completely. They offer flexible financing solutions such as $0 down. In addition, they will make sure that you receive all the state and federal incentives for switching to solar. One more thing. On Saturday mornings, I'm posting NFL Weekly Betting Podcast. Who will win, who will cover, presented by BetQL. In the description, there's a link to BetQL. You need to sign up. You get 20% off of your first subscription with Broads20. That's the promo code. You get all the analytics. All the analytics, where all the professional bettors are betting, the line movement, all the trends to help benefit you win your bets on Sunday. It's absolutely worth it. BetQL. We're also doing an NFL weekly pick'em pool where you can win prizes weekly. And then there's a grand prize courtesy of Rosanov Jewelers, a championship bracelet. All the information is down below in the description.
Hey, bros. Calling just to get your opinion on two different subjects. My first one is, there was an article recently sent out from some executive or whatever, some insider that said Peterson has been figured out, that Doug Peterson is no longer going to be the coach that he once was. He's been figured out by the league, this, that, and other things. I'm curious, do you think that's true? I mean, it's only been 2 games this season, so it's, and injuries and whatnot. But, I mean, we seem to run a very simple offense. I mean, the first game was looking for it downfield. Second game was all this short stuff. And it just seemed like it wasn't really going anywhere. Of course, though, Wentz didn't play great either. My second question is, there's also been a lot of talk about, obviously, is Wentz the guy moving forward? Is it Wentz or Peterson? Would you rather move forward with Doug Peterson or Wentz if you had to choose, I guess?
That's a tough question, honestly. It really is a tough question. I am unhappy with both at the moment. See, people bring up the side of, well, with Doug Peterson, you've seen him succeed with other quarterbacks. So does that mean Carson Wentz is the problem? I heard a report today, actually, that the relationship between Doug Peterson and Carson Wentz right now is not healthy. Man, that the day after Carson Wentz plays like that, I really don't know. I need more. I need to. Obviously, here's the thing. Right now, it's so hard to make that decision, but after this year and after the contract is up, you will know. Like, there's an out on this contract, and that is when I will have to make the decision, and I need more time. I honestly need more time to do that. Carson Wentz has played very poorly over these 2 games. I've also seen Carson Wentz play very solid. I need to allow him to work himself out of this. What if he works himself out of this? At the end of last year, he took a bunch of practice squad players to a playoff game and was magnificent down the stretch. They played poor football teams. They played the Giants and played the Redskins at the time, the Washington football team now, of course. So that plays a role. But I just saw him last year bring this team on a ride, and while there were mechanic flaws and some issues, he was good enough to win games. So I need to allow him to work himself out of this. And with your question, there is more time to go before I make that decision based off of his contract situation. There is an out. So I can answer that question when the out is in play. But I'm very underwhelmed, obviously, with both of them. Now, regarding your first question, is he figured out? No, because I think he can add more. I think he can add more to this offense with this new set of players. Right now, it's too vanilla. Right now, it's just too vanilla. But do I think Doug Peterson can come together with his 9 million other coaches to come up with more offensive creativity? Can they look at what the Rams just did? Can they look at what's going on with San Francisco last year? Now you have the Jimmy Garoppolo situation happening, so it's different. But can you just look at film and look at what other teams are doing to be successful with their offense, to bring more to the table where the defense has to question what's going on, to give the defense maybe other thoughts so maybe they make the mistakes and they don't execute their game plan properly like you just saw with the Eagles? That's all. I think Doug Peterson can adjust. It's just about him adjusting his offensive scheme.
I gotta be honest. I'm not as mad about this loss as I was about last week. All I can say is that we only lost this game because we shot ourselves in the foot on too many occasions. Mostly Wentz trying to force some throws that didn't need to be thrown. Why do you throw to arcega-whiteside toward the end zone in double coverage? Or why do you throw to Goddard on that 4th down? Ugh. Season in jeopardy.
Well, there was no one open on that 4th down play to Goddard. It's not like there were millions of options. Like, to me, that was just a play call that wasn't very effective. Now, mostly Wentz, I would disagree. I mean, that defense was embarrassing. They were getting roasted, torched. The run game for the Rams were just literally smooth as hell. And he got Henderson out there. Henderson is not good. He's not this game-changing back. He was only in because the whole Akers thing went down. And when you needed to stop, boom, there goes a 40-yard run. The linebacking core was abysmal. And this conversation snowballs into, well, why was he out there? Well, the drafting has been bad. That's what's going on. The drafting has been so poor over the last handful of seasons that it is now affecting the football team. So when you lose a game like this, I want to talk about the product on the field, but it can always keep going down the line with these dominoes and then go all the way up top to the decision-making when it comes to certain spots. Not only that, how about allowing LJ Fort to leave this football squad, and now he's making plays elsewhere? LJ Fort could have been a player that you could rely on. You don't need some stud, lethal, insane linebacker to go spend a bunch of money on, but you need better than what you got. You just need a serviceable, okay linebacker. You don't even have that. That's all you need. You don't need a stud, game-changing linebacker. It's just about someone that can actually make a damn play and make a tackle and go into the box. You know?
Oh, dude, man, I am so fed up. This team blows, dude. We were 0-2. The defense was getting cut through like hot butter. Wentz looked terrible. Doug needs to be better. The entire offense and defense just both flat out sucked. Too many opportunities were missed. The team is a joke, and I'm really angry now because the Falcons just choked for like the 500th time in their existence. So the Cowboys won, and now their fans are all, the Eagles suck, we're the best. Yeah, so I'm pretty fed up with that.
I don't care about the Dallas Cowboys fans saying we suck right now, don't we? Don't we? Is it time to acknowledge that right now this football team is not playing well? Shouldn't we acknowledge that we sucked ourselves into thinking that this slop would actually work? Jalen Mills, look, I hope he plays better, but that was garbage. Roby Coleman, we convinced ourselves that he's some elite slot corner that we snagged. What the hell was he doing out there? And even in the first game, I saw some moments where I was a little scratching my head a bit. Going, huh? Did he just... Oh, okay. He tried to make that tackle? All right. I don't know. I mean, could this just be on us? Convincing ourselves that this is going to be a roster that competes? Look at it.
Hey, bro. My name is Dominic Nave. I'm a huge fan of you, bro. Love the vids. Keep up the good work. All right, this game just sucked the absolute life out of me and just made me depressed. I just look around the league and see other teams at least giving like maximum effort and playing with heart, and it keeps them in games. This team, when do you ever see them diving for balls, diving to make a play on the ball on defense, just diving for pylons? I don't see it. They just don't look like they're having fun. Where's the celebrations? There's nothing. We're dead. It's crazy to me. Wentz, we just can't make excuses for him anymore. There's nothing left. He had good protection, and I'm just so fired up. Oh my gosh. He had great protection, can't make the reads, can't make the throws. It's just in his head. There's something mental in there, and he's just not being a leader. Like, you gotta lead this team. But no, you sob on the sideline, and you don't fire up the troops. I watched Dwayne Haskins freaking hype up the sideline and come back, rally the troops to beat us. But Wentz couldn't do that. It's crazy to me. I'm so fired up right now. This team just looks like a mess, and it's kind of scary.
You make some great points. You really do. You make some great points. Carson Wentz with the mental side of the game right now, there's no doubt. There's no doubt that's where he is lost. I think he is pressing so hard mentally. There's a lot of pressure because of, hey, Nick Foles did this and you were the MVP and then he got hurt, and that's no excuse. I mean, you got to take that on. You got to be able to accept that type of pressure if you're going to be a quarterback, especially in this market. So I'm not making an excuse for him, but I do think mentally right now he is so lost. He is completely out there, and you know, we talk about this all the time with where he is. Are we sure? Like, we talk about, is Press Taylor doing the right thing? Is Doug Peterson having enough input on what Carson Wentz is doing? Is he being taught properly? Is he being informed on what to do properly? Now, it's all about him having to do it. He needs to go out there and deliver regardless. He's the one taking the snaps and throwing the football. But what if he's getting all this brutal information? We talked about the mechanics and the footwork. What if he's being taught the wrong things to do with his mechanics and his footwork? Now, I don't know. I don't know what Press Taylor is telling him. I don't know what all these coaches are telling him what to do. But I'm just throwing out a piece here. I'm just throwing out something because I think it's I'm trying to think of answers, right? Because it's mind-boggling, because it's so confusing. How do you go from one extreme to the next of playing so well? But even when he played so well, there were problems with his mechanics. There always has been problems with the mechanics and the footwork. He just delivered differently. Or maybe those teams were just better. There's no J.J. Arcega-Whitesides out there. When he was solid, you had a better team around him. You had better players around him. It's wild. It's wild that we're here today.
It's only been 2 games, and I'm already totally disgusted with this team. I could spend all day talking about Carson Wentz, totally immobile, doesn't move around outside the pocket anymore. And why in the hell are you throwing a ball into double coverage to J.J. Arcega-Whiteside? Stop trying to be Brett Favre and be more Tom Brady. His skills are recessing before our very eyes. The other thing, defensive line, you wasted money on that crap. Can't stop a nosebleed. Can't generate any pressure on the quarterback. The Rams totally bitch-slapped them from quarter 1 to quarter 4. And Burrow and the Bengals may do the same thing next week. Total garbage. The best thing for the Eagles is that the fans weren't in attendance today.
Well, they still tried to do the boos. There's no doubt they still tried to do the boos. Yeah, look, I don't want to get too far ahead of myself with the whole Cincinnati Bengals thing, but of course they can come in here and win. Joe Burrow's going to come in here and make some noise happen and throw the football well. We'll see, That'll really be a difference maker in conversation if the Cincinnati Bengals come to town and end up winning that football game. That would be something else. That would crush me inside. Man, wow. But I like the fact that you brought up the defensive front. That's been an issue. That has been an issue. I heard Fletcher Cox's name a couple times. He used to be more of a game changer, but I can look at other pieces and get way more upset with them after yesterday's performance. You put a lot of money in that D-line. You would think that there would be more pressure. Fletcher Cox did have that injury, though, right? I think there was some ice packs all over his body. He had to leave the game for a little bit. That's what happens with age, though. I keep bringing it up. He's touching 30 now. He's a big guy going up against other big guys consistently for a lot of snaps. Stuff like that is going to happen. So, look, there you have it. I appreciate all the phone calls. There's so many. I wish I could get to all of them. I mean, I tell you what, after the game, I watch the feed sometimes of the voicemails, and they just scroll up. It's nonstop. I wish I can get to all of them. There's just literally so many. So, look, if you didn't make it, you can call in. Like, I'm utilizing these phone calls all over the place, not just for my podcast, but I'm on 97.3 ESPN in South Jersey from 2 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday with Mike Gill on the Sports Bash. We use your phone calls on 97.3 ESPN radio, so your voice is being heard on there as well. The phone number is 856-442-9805. Thank you all so much, and I will see you in the next Eagles podcast.